Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salima Rajput and my roll number is 31043. Today the topic of our presentation is patriarchy and I'm here to give you the introduction about it. So let's start with it. A patriarchy describes a general structure in which men have power over women. A patriarchal society consists of a male dominated power structure throughout organized society and in individual relationships. A patriarchy is a social system that values masculinity or femininity. This type of social system dictates that men are entitled to be in charge and dominate women, and it implies the nature state of the gender relation is a dynamic of dominance and submission. According to patriarchal society, women are seen weak, submissive, and an extension of men, and the highest accomplishment a woman can hope to attain is marriage and childbirthing. On the reverse end of the spectrum, the men are expected to be physically and emotionally strong, dominating, and breadwinner and protector of his family. Although the domination of women today might not be as bad as, say, a couple hundred years ago, when women had no legal rights and were considered their husband's property. Gender is still something that is strictly enforced on people today. In patriarchal societies, cisgender men are typically valued over cisgender women. Thank you. Now, Hajar will tell you about the history of patriarchy.
Thank you so much, Halima. This is Hajar Mahmood, and the topic that has been given to me is history of patriarchy or patriarchal societies. According to new scientists, the first human societies likely weren't patriarchal. When humans survived as hunter gatherers, it wasn't given that couples would move to be close to the man's parents, a phenomenon referred to as patriarchal residence, which is a hallmark of patriarchal societies. Instead, couples would move to live close to either set of in laws or relocate away from both families. Thus, there was a degree of built in egalitarianism because women in those earlier societies had the choice of support from the group they grew up with and the option to move away from oppression. One school of thought argues that patriarchy emerged around 12,000 years ago with the advent of agriculture and homesteading. As people began settling down and acquiring resources to defend, power shifted to the physically strong males. Male relatives stayed close to each other, and property was shared and passed down the male line of heirs, eroding female autonomy. Now, I would like to call Muniza to proceed the rest of the topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hadra. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muniza Farhaj and my ID is 29456. Now I will tell you more about this history. With that said, for much of the documented human society, male domination was accepted as fact. Thus, patriarchy wasn't even identified as concept by early thinkers, unlike democracy or autocracy, which were identified and debated by the Greeks. The idea that male supremacy was natural was super fulfilling since men writing for the benefits of the men were the ones writing laws, literature, philosophy, history, medical treatises, and scientific texts. Today, patriarchal culture and made attitude persist around the world. Zita Gourmet, a member of Hungarian National Assembly, vice president of Hungarian National Group of the Inter-Parliamentary Union and member Parliamentary Assembly of Council of Europe who advocates for gender equality and ending violence against women notes that to this day patriarchal culture is one of the biggest barriers in the ending violence against the woman. Thank you. Now over to Mishal.
Thank you, Muniza. Assalamu alaikum, sir. I hope you're fine. My name is Mashal Malik, and my roll number ID is 29182. As my friends have already discussed the meaning and history of patriarchy, I will enlighten you about the characteristics of patriarchy in the world. As Emma Watson said, and I quote, both men and women should feel free to be sensitive. Both men and women should feel free to be strong. Sadly, that never happens in today's world because of the following reasons. The first one is male dominance. It is the activity where men are in power or have an influence over the opposite gender. The second one is obsession with control. Men always want to have control in their family and society. The biggest characteristic after control is centeredness. We live in a society where men cannot afford the women to excel as the attention will be shifted to them. Now, moving on to male identification. Male identification is that male is always identified as a strong and dominant figure, whereas a woman is considered to be a weaker and emotional gender. Lastly, talking about the female limitations in a male dominant society, it's very hard for women to secure a high level post in an organization. This might be a very small example, but it's evident from the fact that hardly 24.1% of the female population make it to the higher hierarchy. Now, Juberia will tell you the pros of patriarchy. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Javeria Khatak and my ID is 29096. I am gonna be stating some pros of patriarchy system. Patriarchy system gives a man a place in a family unit so that the family knows that they are safe, that have a protector and provider. It also gives men a sense of responsibility, giving them this position so they know that they can't just turn on their family. Let's not forget about feminists. Feminists say that they want equality when in fact they seek for the superior treatment on the basis of womanhood. However, sensible men have no interest in maintaining patriarchy because they don't oppress women. Patriarchy system asserts the leader in a family. He knows he is the one that has to make decisions, which have to be in favor of the family, which shouldn't be difficult since he already has leadership qualities. Everyone should know that he is up for suggestions and advices, but no one can dictate him. At the end of the day, he is the one who will be making decisions that are good for his family.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mahad Junaid and my ID is 29429. As my group members have a great discussion on the topic patriarchy system, so I am here to discuss about the pros of patriarchy system. Basically, patriarchy system gives a structure to the society and a place and role for everyone. As you all know that women are the ones who have the ability to produce the mankind, and thus historians have hinted that it was women-centered society during Paleolithic era. But as the time passed, people started realizing that men are stronger both physically and emotionally, and then the world gradually took a shift from matriarchy to patriarchy. Secondly, it follows a natural logic that the stronger person should be in a position of power. Right, men have strong power to run society and stand by their words. They are headstrong and are good at making neutral decisions, although biased opinions are always there much to dismay of the society. But still, the patriarchal rule is better for the society and is appreciated either this way or that way. Till age, it's preferred that the world should be ruled by the men. Thirdly, it is said that most men are biologically hardwired to be loyal to their tribe, while the majority of women lack this kind of biological inclined patriotism. What that means is that while men generally protect their tribe to their last breath, women will submit to their conquerors. Majority society follows patriarchal system, even we do so. Men can stand against every odd in order to protect his people, same as he does for his family. Although some women are stronger, but even living in today's feminist world, the major tasks are done by men because women are fragile by birth and this remains till their very last breath. Not every woman has the ability to rule, but men are made the way that they have to run their houses and jointly run society. Now, Mariam will tell you about the cons of patriarchy.
Thank you so much, Mahad. My name is Mariam Javed, ID 29232. Today I'll be talking about the cons of patriarchy. The most important and first con that I'll be talking about is the wasted potential. As you all know, in this male-dominant society, there are many women in this world that are willing to do or achieve a lot in their life, and they are extremely well educated for that, and they have the talent to do it best, but they are not allowed to pursue it under the patriarchy. All their talent is just wasted. Some extremely intelligent women who are capable to earn and help their husband are not allowed to do so under the patriarchy. They just want to help their husband and split the budget so that both of them can fulfill their dreams. But as their husband just want them to serve their families, all their dreams just remain a dream. Another important con I'll be talking about is the domestic violence of male over the women under the patriarchy. Male being physically strong think they have the power over their wives and they can physically or emotionally abuse their wives, and in response the wives only have to stay silent and bear the violent behavior. Our society is perpetuating or unconsciously condoning domestic abuse as men earn and have physical power, so they think that in their relationship they have the power to speak or hurt their partner as they are earning ones and they also have physically more strong. Mostly domestic violence is particularly occurring because of the stress of less income or the stress of not having a child, and the women become the victim of their anger. Over to Mariam Farid. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam Javed. Assalamu alaikum. This is Mariam Farid and I'll be discussing cons of patriarchal society. Talking about patriarchal societies, bad cultures are very common where women feel insecure and live lives as secondary citizens. There are barbaric traditions perpetrated against women in the name of culture. Pressures on women after divorce, scary enforcement of women, and honor killings. These are some examples through which women goes through under a patriarchal society. In a patriarchal society, cultures have controlled women's space, limiting their freedom. These man-made cultures have made conditions miserable for women in order to preserve their superiority. Women have always lived dependent lives under the domination of males. Some misogynistic and religious scholars have left no stone unturned to mystify women. As in the past, the women of today are still victims of patriarchal culture. Every day, hundreds of women are murdered according to different allegations by the spouse, relatives, and friends. A large number of women have lost their lives in the name of honor. A research conducted by Human Rights Commission of Pakistan reported that in honor crimes, 987 cases were recorded in 2015, with 1,096 female victims and 88 males. Pakistan is among of those countries which are insensitive and suffocate women. In Pakistan, there is no space for women who are bold, outspoken, challenging, and break taboos. Women who are defiant are either abused or killed in the name of honor. Or educated and uneducated classes are both involved in honor crimes. In some cases, victims fail to prove their innocence and honesty. We are in the dire need of strong amendments to existing laws on honor killings, pressures on divorce and single mothers, and even on career choices. Strict laws will lessen crimes and result in betterment of societies. Now I would like to call Sidra for discussing the conclusion. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sidratul Muntaha and my ID is 29754. My group members explained about our topic patriarchy. I'm going to give a conclusion on it. First of all, I'm going to talk about eliminating violence against women. Violence against women is a pandemic affecting all the countries, even those that have made laudable progress in all its areas. Worldwide, 35% of women have experienced either physical or sexual intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence. I'm not here to take side of men or women. I'm here to talk about gender equality. What is gender equality and why is it important? It is a society where women and men enjoy the same opportunities and rights in all spheres of life. Basically, women and men have equal rights in everything. So, it exists when the sexes are able to share equally in distribution of power, have equal opportunities for financial independence, and enjoy equal access to education and personal ambitions, interests, and talents, and also share equal responsibility for home and children. How is a gender equality a concern of men? Most of the time, when we talk about gender equality, we consider women and we totally forget about men. Now I'm going to explain how is gender equality a concern of men. Men are considered the breadwinners, right? So, men are too often expected to concentrate on the material needs of their families rather than on nurturing and caring roles assigned to the women. And my second point is men never cry. In our society, men are considered to be strong and emotionless, so even when they get upset, they never express. Showing emotion is not a bad thing, even for men. Now, our next group member will further proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidra. My name is Shriha Kasi, ID 29010. I will be discussing my take on the conclusion. I believe that equality is the way to go. Our country, Pakistan, longs for a just system. Justice should be available for all. Similarly, both genders deserve the same amount of respect and consideration. Pakistan has a patriarchal structure, we need to see that there are different types of households and family structures present in our society. We cannot just go with one. We need to be considerate of the single mothers and divorcees as well, since the society is full of diversities and we can't just pinpoint one household structures such as patriarchal or matriarchal on the society. There are people go through many situations. Not everyone is living the life that we're living. Not everyone is that privileged. So we need to be considerate of everyone. We need to see that because of this mentality also many females in Pakistan are not getting educated. They're not getting the same amount of consideration that they deserve. Many men in Pakistan believe that a woman's work is just to stay at home and to take care of the children. But the 21st century woman is very different compared to the old one. Now, equality is the way to go because we need to take care of everything together as a whole, not as two individuals separate from their lives. So, I would just like to end this with a quote that achieving gender equality requires the engagement of women and men, girls and boys. It is everyone's responsibility. Thank you for listening. I hope you found our topic interesting.